Hello and
Welcome.
welcome to the show,
Hi.
June and Bhaskar. How are you guys doing?
Well,
Great.
thanks for inviting us. Doing great.
Yeah,
Doing
we're
awesome.
excited to get into this demo today. June, maybe we can start off by maybe introducing yourself, and then we'll have Bhaskar, and then we'll talk a little bit about our segment today.
Yeah, sure. My name is June. I'm a senior product manager from SageMaker Jumpstart team. And here today, I also have my cat Sunny sitting here. She might move around, so um, I just wanted to let you know about that. Bhaskar, do you want to go?
Yeah. Hey everyone. I'm Bhaskar Pratap. I'm senior engineer on the Amazon SageMaker team. I was the lead on this project that we are going to show it to you today.
So, June, I understand that Sunny's actually going to be doing the demo today. He's going to walk us through the different. He's certified solution architect professional, is what I was told before the show.
Well, let's look at her mood. She's looking at that way, so I don't think that's going to happen, unfortunately. But someday,
Certified in bird watching is probably more like it.
yes.
That's awesome. I
Okay,
was hoping that she would make an appearance because I know last year when we had you here, June, she definitely did. And she walked across the screen and we got lots of fun things in the comments. So I'm excited to see that Sunny is back. But what have you been up to since last year in SageMaker?
Yeah, so just like last time, we've been working very hard to make sure that we provide latest technologies to our customers in the Gen AI space. I believe last time when we come up here, we talked about the Llama launches that we had before. Um, and just before we go into deeper, I just want to make sure that we cover what is SageMaker first and then Jumpstart, and then kind of go into what type of problem that we have been kind of facing over the last couple quarters. So first of all, SageMaker is a fully managed machine learning service within AWS. And with SageMaker, data scientists as well as ML engineers can quickly build and train or deploy machine learning models, including Gen AI models, in a production-ready hosted environments. And customers can also customize and control training and hosting environments to the point where they can actually fine-tune the environment in case they want to customize anything. And Jumpstart specifically is a feature within SageMaker that provides customers with wide range of foundation models, whether it's text generation or image generations, that are easily trainable and deployable inside SageMaker. So with models in the Jumpstart, customers don't need to download from third-party website or modify it so that it works with the SageMaker. We did all of that for the customers. They can just come to SageMaker Jumpstart UI or API and start training or start deploying and start playing with the model. So that's a bit of a background of our feature. Now, over the last year or so, we've seen a lot of new models coming out from different providers and companies. And what we noticed is that the models are released daily and weekly, and they all come with different characteristics. And that includes different sizes, different type of licensing agreements, and different type of quality. And we heard from a lot of enterprise admins that they want more control over what models that are discoverable and useful by their internal organizations. And for example, some organizations told us that um, they only want to let users use, let's say, smaller models because they don't want to focus on large models. Some organizations have told us that they want to only surface specific license type, let's say open source license type, to be usable and discoverable by their internal organizations. And since every organization have different criteria and unique processes, we wanted to make sure that we provide a way for admins to control what models are being surfaced to the customers. And by default, Jumpstart provides more than 700 models out of the box, and we wanted to make sure that admins can distill it down to the ones that they really care about for their organization. So that's kind of the context and problem space that we've been tackling over last quarter.
Yeah, that's really cool. SageMaker is one of those services at AWS that I was really appreciative when I first started using it because when we first start talking about AI and ML, it can feel very daunting, like very data science heavy, and I'm smart, but I'm not that smart, and I'm like, oh, I don't even know where to start with this. And then I launched my first SageMaker instance. And then I used Jumpstart to quickly launch a model and then use one of the solutions from the library to connect it. And right off the bat, I was using AI and ML. So Jumpstart is one of those really cool services. I'm excited to see it. But do we have a demo for today? Should we bring in the demo and just jump right into what we're talking about?
Yeah, sounds awesome. Let's get to that. The screen is up. Hope you can see my screen now. So what I have here is you already can see in the studio that we see, like, you have all the 700 models, as June and Todd were speaking about. You have all this model here that enterprises and everyone in our org have this. But as June mentioned, that we have hearing feedback from customers that you want to limit your users within the organization to specific criteria of models which are approved, maybe based on size or based on use case or license type. So what we have come out with kind of an hub experience where you can have your own organization hub, one or more hub within your account. And so for this demo, I'll go through two parts. One, I'll show the admin side of the demo, where an administrator in your organizations can go and set up an hub and share it with all the users. And then I'll come to the user experience as a data scientist or an ML engineer. You can come and how you can use this model and you get the exact same Jumpstart experience. So let me switch my tab a little. So I'm going to show this through a notebook experience where I have a notebook for an admin we can go through. So first, a quick call out: do update your SageMaker Python SDK before using it to get the new functionality in that you see. And I have just a boilerplate code there to set up all the things going. To keep things and notice that to set up this hub that we have come up with, you give it a name and a display name as you want to see it on your studio. And we have all the clients set up. Next, you can see we have one single utility where you defined a hub with the hub name that you have given. And once you create the hub, you can provide a description to it as someone browsing. Here we're supporting more than one hub. And you could have different hubs based on different use cases. For example, you could have a hub created just for experimental models that you want to expose to certain users in your org, that they have access to more models from the Jumpstart public hub. Or you can have one a production ready hub where models which are ready for production are belong to that. So you can have the description and your users will be able to see that description when they browse those hubs. So here, just a single utility, the hub.create, and it creates the hub for you. Here I can see I have given the name of organization hub and all the parameter that the response get written from the API. And obviously, as we do with create, you also have a describe to know what the hub you are creating. So you get all the detail. You have the hub ARN being, so it is RNable entity. So now you can control via IAM permissions. You have what permissions certain users in your account or other accounts have. So one key thing I want to call out here, that as part of the launch, we have also enabled cross-account sharing of this hub. So, and that's we are done via the AWS RAM, Resource Access Manager, where you can provide you can take your hub ARN and can set certain permissions. We have default permission to read and use, but you can also go and customize those permissions as you want your users in your organization to use it. You can share with one single account or your entire organizations. So this is one time setup step required, that you create a hub and you share it to many users as you need. Once this is done, you're ready to go, like your hub is there. Now it's come up on a kind of a daily process or kind of as process that you set up in your organization. You want to provide access to the incoming new models, that you go through your approval process within your organization and add it. So to go with that, how to discover those models from our Jumpstart.
Bhaskar, before you get into that, I just want to make sure I understand a few concepts as we get into this.
Sure.
So we're within a Jupyter notebook, and we're using you said the Python SDK, and we have to use the latest Python SDK because that supports the features that we're walking through. So I just want to double click on that. Make sure you're updating your SDK to get the latest features. But what we're creating is a hub, and a hub is just high level. Hub is a container that we create within our SageMaker instance. Could you just real quick, what's a hub high level?
Sure. Good question out there. So a hub is kind of a logical container that you create in your account. It comes within SageMaker within the SageMaker space. There's a logical container. Within it, you can have references to a model that you store, like from the public hub, or you can bring your own custom models or your notebooks even, and in future, more such entity types. So this will be a single place. One, you control permission to a hub, and your users in your hub, users in your account can get access to this hub or as many hubs you create for use case.
I get so
this kind
hub is an important thing because it's you said it's a container, that a mechanism by which we can control access. We don't have to do that one model at a time. We can kind of create this collection, and then just gives us more options to control who can use the models within that hub. Okay, I got it. That's cool.
Yeah, one thing to add is that previously there was a public kind of a hub that our team used to only manage, and that's like a world readable folder or hub where everybody can just access to. What the admins are doing here is that they're creating their own hub where they can actually control who get to see what's in there, and then what contents are actually in there. So you can think of it as you're creating more of a private folder, and you're creating like shortcuts to our model into those folder instead of letting your users go to our publicly available bucket.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so we use some of the commands within the new SDK to create that hub. So now that we've got it created, Bhaskar, where are we going next?
Okay, so at this point we have the hub created, and as you feel you have saved it within your same account or accounts within your organization, giving certain permission to the user. So the hub exists, and you have saved the hub. So now comes to like what models I'm adding, exposing to my users. So first question always comes to like, we have, as June was mentioning earlier, we have 700 plus models in our public hub from Jumpstart. And for that, we have provided a utility within the hub class called list SageMaker public hub models. And it has also supports and filter with a kind of extensive knowledge where you can give a simple filter string. You want meta models, which I'm showing an example here for, or you already know a model that you want for. So you give a specific model ID that you're looking for, you want to get a detail. Or maybe you're like going abroad here, like you want to just have a specific task type in mind, and you want to get that task type, all the models related to this. So you can support all these models, just pass and filter value, and it will return. So for example, here I have meta models listed here. And at this point, this is all the name, but I have given a count at the end. We have almost 36 models from the meta. And so you get a list here, and once you're happy with the list, next what we have to make these models available in your hub. Like this is a listing was from a Jumpstart public hub. And now you add this model here. I am looping through, calling the utility hub create model reference. You pass the ARN that we got from the previous search and get it added. So I have once I ran it, you can see like all the 36 models got added. But in case you already know a specific model, you might do not want to go through the search and discovery process, since you already maybe knowing might be already using it. So you can go ahead and directly call the create model reference API with the specific hub and with the model name at the end. And you can see that this added the model reference in the hub that I named in this demo as an organization hub. So this is all there. Now models is there. Next steps I'm going to just show you that models are there. So obviously we have this list models utility on your hub. This will list all the models that's there in your hub. Just key thing to notice here, these are references, which means any updates that we as a Jumpstart or SageMaker does on the models as a new version, patch those versions, they get automatically available in your hub. Like no additional stuff, any step required from the admin side. So if there are any patching, security vulnerability getting patched with the new versions of this models getting available, you get it automatically. There's no operational load or maintenance load required on your side once you add these models. And obviously we have the cleanup steps. You can delete the model references or describe the model or delete the hub itself as you want, like as you go through the process, which we have all present in the utility. So this is quickly going on the admin side of the experience, but I'd like to take a pause here, and I'd like to see if June has anything to add before I jump to the user side of the thing.
So we do have a question, because this is a live show. One of our users is making me a little hungry. User named Fried Collie asked, number one, is SageMaker a no-code tool? And number two, is it available for free?
Good question. So first of all, SageMaker offers different type of tools, and there are low-code, no-code toolings. At the same time, we also offer API-based codings. So depending on what your preference is, there are different options. For example, within the SageMaker, there's a tool called Canvas, which is fully UI-based tools. But then there's a SageMaker Studio as well as Python SDK, which is more for what we call high code customer who wants to use the APIs. So I hope that helps answer that question. And the second one is this available for free? The SageMaker is not free. For each kind of a compute that you decide to use, there's a different pricing on top of it. So yeah, I hope that also answers the question.
Cool. Thanks, June.
Thanks, June. I'll move to the user side of things. So your admin has created the hub and shared with you, and now what it looks for you, like you want, and one of the question was low code, no code questions. So we have an option here, like you can, as June is describing, like you have this awesome SageMaker Studio where it's almost one click you get experience for. So this is the what I'm saying on the screen is the SageMaker public hub, which has all the models that Jumpstart is offering. But as you get shared, your admins create and hub and shares with you, you get represented with different screens. So you have two tiles now. The tool that first tile shows all the public model Jumpstart SageMaker is offering, and other is the organization hub that we just saw in the last admin side of things. We created an organization hub, and likely admin might also disable access to yours for all the public models at the use case fee if you're not on experimental side of things in your organization. So you will directly jump to the organization hub where you will see I have listed the 36 models from Meta and one that I added manually. So you'd see total of 37 models. And as I browse through it, you can see all the frameworks ordered. You can use the filter. And if I type in code, maybe like from the 37 we have, you're interested in code dated models as in to support coding kind of thing, use cases. So you get the same experience Jumpstart. And if I click through one of these tiles, you see all the details about these models, what inputs once it's deployed, how to interact with the model and use cases, training data, license types, and everything is presented on the screen. Here on the right side of the screen, you can see the ARN of this model from the hub it is coming from. So you can see here you have organization hub and that it is a reference type and the hub details and everything is coming from. So, and you have sample notebooks presented here. You can see if I want to use this model and if you not want to, once model is deployed, you can see all this, how to use this model, basically how to deploy the model if you're still interested in notebook code, the code side of things. And different input and parameters and performance related details are presented in this sample notebook that code comes along. But key thing here is like you get a one-click deploy experience. So you deploy it and just confirm on the next screen, you accept the EULA that comes with the meta models, Llama series of model, and you accept that. And if you're happy with the default that is presented on the screen, go ahead and click deploy at the end of the screen. And this will create an SageMaker endpoint for you, and it's up and ready. You can start interacting with that endpoint, present with the questions or coding questions to the coding model, and that's the simplest experience you get. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think it gets much simpler than that. We're in SageMaker. You've launched a SageMaker domain in your account. We know that SageMaker has a number of other services, but we're working in Jumpstart, and we created this hub that limited the models. And as you were walking through this, I started to see some of those attributes that June pointed out earlier of some of those things that we might want to filter on. Like there was a license agreement that you had to accept. That's the EULA you said. So there may be different licensing requirements that would dictate creating a hub and separating these out. Different sizes. I see a ton of different models. Presumably each one of these models, I can see that they're tagged based on what their intent maybe is to do. Like, for example, I see a lot of text generation, but I understand we have models for, images or coding assistance. There are different models trained for different things. And so we can start to create these hubs and organize them and categorize them based on what their use is. And presumably the sizes of the models would also dictate maybe some of the pricing and what you're able to do with that. So I can think of a ton of reasons why we would want to start to create these collections. But yeah, so but and what I think is really cool about this too is it also gives me the code and gives me a bunch of information about the model. Um, I've tried out a few models and I didn't, like I said earlier, I didn't have to have a bunch of like training. I just was able, I clicked deploy and all of a sudden now I'm testing some AI stuff. So that's really cool. Now, if we wanted to customize this model, is that something that we could do and then launch a custom model into our hub?
That's a great question. So normally, yes, customers can do fine tuning and customization using their own data. But the models that we have, the models that are added to the private hub currently are not fine tunable. So that's something that we're actively working on, and that will be released as a fast follow. But as of now, customers can only deploy and start inferencing on the models.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
curious as we wrap this up here. We're coming up to the end of our time. This has been a really awesome demo. But June, I'm always going to ask, where is it that you want people to go and find more information? And then also tell us who this feature is for. You know, we talk about the admins, but what type of organizations would really benefit from leveraging this?
Yeah. So for your first questions, there's a product detail page for the Jumpstart. So if you just type AWS SageMaker Jumpstart, you'll see our product detail page. From there, there's a link to our guide and catalog of models that we offer. And to your second question, this is really for the enterprise admins that have specific requirements around what models are discoverable to their users. So a lot of customers that are in financial industry or any organizations that have relatively high kind of a security policies and whatnot, those admins have always been asking about this feature. So if you're working for financial institutes or any of those enterprises, I would highly recommend taking a look at this feature.
Yeah, great. Well, it was awesome to have you here. We do have another question here in the chat. We'll make sure that our friends here who are working in the background can get some of that answered. It looks like it's more general about foundation models and how it works with SageMaker. So we'll get that answered offline for you. But June, Bhaskar, this has been phenomenal. Thanks for being here. We want to thank Sunny as well. Um,
Great job,
but
son.
congrats on your launch.
Thank you. Thanks for the
You
invite.